Lindsey Graham and others are already weighing in, saying that they support him. Sherrilyn Ifill, what about what he had to say about civil rights and minority communities? What did you hear in his opening statement that addressed the concern that this has long been overlooked and that there really has to be a revamping of that office?
Well, Andrea, thank you. I think this was so important. Think how many years, you and others have been covering the Department of Justice. And how little attention there has been to the origins of the Department of Justice as having been created precisely to protect the right of newly freed slaves, of Black people around the country, pursuant to the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, and particularly to protect Black voting rights. It was very powerful and important for this Attorney General at this moment in our country when voter suppression is such a powerful issue, for him to remind us of those origins of the Department of Justice. And that's going to be important in the coming weeks, not only through this confirmation hearing, but through the confirmation hearing of others in the department, that we remember the very raison d'etre of the Department of Justice. Because at this moment, we're facing an 1870 moment, sadly. And so I think that was critically important for him to frame his entire presentation today with that important history.
And Garrett, we see also that other cabinet members are, well, at least one, certainly Neera Tanden, facing some trouble. This president has only gotten 7 cabinet nominees confirmed, which is behind where both Donald Trump and Barack Obama were. And the problem now on Neera Tanden for OMB is that Joe Manchin, one Democrat, has said he will not vote for her. And now 2 Republicans have joined in, Susan Collins and Mitt Romney. So how does the administration get to the math of getting 51 votes for her, including, of course, the vice president?
Well, the short answer is they're going to have to pull a Republican out of their hat to vote for Neera Tanden. I mean, this is the reality in a 50-50 Senate. If you have a nominee who is controversial, you cannot afford to lose any of your Democrats. And with Joe Manchin saying he won't support her, Susan Collins saying he won't support her, it's hard to see where another Republican could be found. Mitt Romney has said he won't support Tanden, that can get them to the 50 votes they need. I mean, that's the difference between a Tanden and a Merrick Garland, who, as Pete laid out, is liable to get 85 or 90 votes for his confirmation. And I think the other person to watch this week will be Xavier Becerra, who's got to go through 2 separate confirmation hearings in 2 different committees. He's another one who Republicans have criticized as not having relevant experience in health or human services, and essentially being a political nominee to this post. Democrats will need to stick together on that nomination as well. So, part of the delay in getting the Biden cabinet together was just some of the circumstances here. Democrats not winning the Georgia seats for quite some time, then having to deal with the impeachment trial here in the Senate. All of that slows things down. But now we're getting past some of the kind of consensus nominees and into those that might be political battles in a 50-50 Senate. All these votes are going to count, and the performance of these nominees in their individual nomination hearings are going to be important too. Garland, sailing so far. Nobody's really even tried to lay a glove on him. Becerra, and then actually Deb Haaland as well later this week, the nominee for Interior, could face some very tough questions as too. So kind of a grit your teeth week for the folks on the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue, watching their nominees come up here to the Senate.
Indeed. And I should note that for those of us, at least in the Washington area, we are seeing incredible negative ads about Becerra. The Republican interest groups are really taking him down with all kinds of, or just basically that he's not a doctor, is their big complaint. Just now, in answer to a question from Senator Blumenthal, Judge Garland has said that hate crimes are tearing apart our country right now. Sherrilyn, in the aftermath of all that we've seen of Black Lives Matter and all the issues about police operations, what more do you want to see from Merrick Garland as he not only looks at enforcement of the civil rights aspects, the Civil Rights Office, which has not been enforced for the last 4 years, as best I can tell. What more do you want to see from him on that and on voting rights?
Well, we certainly want to see the Civil Rights Division stood back up as an enforcement division, focused on voting rights and all manner of civil rights. And we want to see this department engage the issue of criminal justice reform. We want to see them address policing. We want to return to pattern and practice investigations of unconstitutional policing. We'd like to hear this Attorney General put his voice behind the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act that passed the House last year. I want this Attorney General to look at what's happening in our nation's prisons, the catastrophe, the human rights catastrophe that's happening in our nation's prisons. The Department of Justice has oversight power and statutory power to be able to investigate unconstitutional conditions in state prisons. We want to see them doing that. We want to see them address issues of educational disparity. We want to see them take another look at some of the affirmative action positions that were taken by the prior Department of Justice. It's a huge portfolio. He's got his work cut out for him, for sure. But fortunately, there are others in the pipeline to be confirmed who will be able to assist him with this. And that's why it was so important that he set the tone today. This is not an area in which Merrick Garland really has experience, either criminal justice reform or civil rights. And so hearing him today frame his vision of the Department of Justice that way was actually a very important signal.
Well, thanks to you so much, Sherilyn, for being with us today.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.